Fandom NFL Court is in session. Presiding over it, the sort of honorable Judge Joey. Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Court. I am your host, Judge Joey, and it's good to be back because I haven't banged this gavel in a few weeks. But here I am on Fandom NFL, and I see all of you here with me, which is spectacular. I am so happy to see all of my friends here for a little fantasy football Q&A, and these glasses are uncomfortable. This wig is uncomfortable. So I am here for your amusement and your entertainment. So if you've got questions, I want you to drop them in the chat. We're talking about keeper questions. We're talking about fantasy trade questions right now. If you're trying to make a move in one of your drafts, whatever it might be, drop your comments below. We're also going to talk about some other decisions I'm going to make in fantasy, whether it be decisions regarding different tight ends. We're going to talk about the mid-tier tight ends today. We're going to talk about some rankings today as well. And before we get to any of that, again, subscribe to the channel. Drop your comments below. We like having you here on Fandom NFL. Judge Joey, it's been a couple weeks. Took some time off in Mexico as a judge is one to do. I am still open to bribes, as I always am here on the program. For those of you who've watched on other networks, you know how Judge Joey operates. I want to hear from you. I wanted to drop your questions. Super chats are coming, everybody. So we haven't gotten to them yet. We've unlocked part one of the step of YouTube. Part one of the step of YouTube, 1,000 subscribers. Well, we did that a couple days. We blew that out of the water. Step two, we got to get to 40,000 watch hours. And guess what? We're a third of the way there already. So if you want your super chats to go to me and not other places, to me, right, to the actual people on here, which is nice, which is helpful. Keep watching, keep subscribing, keep hanging out. Remember, if you just want to listen to the podcast, you can as well. I see all of you falling into the chat here. Fandom NFL, everywhere you get your podcast, it's now out there. Our latest giveaway is already gone, but we got another giveaway going right now, Fantasy Football Black Book 2026. Drop your comments, like this video, and subscribe to the new channel. And Judge Joey's going to send this out to you right away. So I see all my rowdy friends. Here we go. Joey, my boy, you still going early wide receiver? I'm thinking about going Chase over Bijan in our PPR league with a huge performance bonuses. Now, that's an interesting thing. When we talk about bonuses, I'd like to get some bonuses. I can tell you that much. I'd love to get a bonus. I'm going to get coal in my stocking this winter. But here you go. I just did a mock draft episode. It's going to be on the channel tomorrow, where I drafted from the one spot. And I did discuss at length about what's going on here with the Jahmyr Gibbs stuff and the Bijan Robinson stuff. I'm not taking too much out of it. They're doing these classic hold-ins. The teams have no leverage. They're going to have to pay these guys what they want to be paid. So I'm still fine at 1 and 2 with Bijan and Jahmyr Gibbs. And the reason why I would still go with those two, because I think there's such a drop-off after those two to McCaffrey and everybody else, that even though Jamar Chase is spectacular all-world in a 10-team league and PPR, yeah, okay, Jamar Chase, I can understand taking him over Bijan Robinson. If you really want to, I can even understand taking him 1 in a 10 team because the replacement value coming back to you at running back is still pretty good. You could probably come away with a Scadaboo and a David Montgomery or something like that, and it's all fine. Actually, you could probably even do a little bit better than that. Maybe even get Omari and Hampton to slip to you. But in a 12-team league, as you'll see on tomorrow's mock draft episode that's going to come out tomorrow, if I hadn't mentioned it already, subscribe, ring the bell to let goes ding so you don't miss it. I did a full mock draft from that spot at the one, and I loved what came back to me. In the 12-team league, I got A.J. Brown coming back to me, George Pickens coming back to me, and then all the way in the 4th round, somehow Zay Flowers made it back to me. To me, give me that hero RB at the top, and then you want to go through. So I'm throwing Jamar Chase out in favor of Bijan Robinson. That's what Judge Joey's doing. I think I broke my gavel here. I hate it when that happens. You know, they gave me medication for that to keep the gavel working for longer. It's just still not working. I got to go see the doctor about that. All right, favorite draft strategy from Joe. Good name, Joe. I like that. We just touched on Hero RB. When you're an early picker this year, I like Hero RB. I think it gets the job done. If I'm at the turn, my draft strategy is I'm trying to take the best available. I would love to, in a perfect world, come away with a top running back and a top wide receiver and then go best available for the next couple rounds. In the middle is tricky. And this is why you got to get your guys. This is why to make sure that you got all your players in a row, all your ducks in a row, your cheat sheets. You get everything right here. and you want to execute your plan on your guys. I think my biggest draft strategy, more than ever, is get your guys, screw the ADP. Okay? There's actually a wonderful conversation here on the channel that I just did with Mitch and Mello. It's on the collab section. If you scroll down, it's an hour. So if you got that kind of time, not like me, Judge Joey, I got 3 more people in front of me I got to put in jail later today. But if you got that kind of time, go ahead, check it out. It's a great show where we go over every single strategy and we rank them this year. The hero, the zero RB, the robust wide receiver, robust other things. I'm getting a little robust under this robe, I can tell you right now, just to be back here. I'm excited to be back here talking to all of you. But I will say this. I think that get your guys. That's the strategy this year. And keep watching the channel because I'm going to keep doing these mock drafts, because I'm going to do mock drafts in different formats from different spots. Not just talk about the guys I'm targeting, but talk about the reasoning why we're doing those builds and the roster construction. That's what's not talked about enough. All right, so we're going to do that. I see Parkinson's here. Everybody's here. My good friend Jamie's here. It was so great to hang out with Jamie. Well, Joe Pizzapia hung out with him. Judge Joey heard about it. It's a little bit different. Yes, it is my new haircut, too. And I can tell you, this wig is itching the hell out of me. So I hope I'm entertaining you. I hope you enjoy my stupidity, because it's very itchy. Us bald guys should not wear wigs. There was a time where a lot of bald guys used to wear toupees. Now they go to Turkey and they get the hair replacements. Not me. Not Judge Joey. He goes old school wigs. I'm sure my head's going to be bright red after this show. Can't wait to see that. That's right. Uncle Joey will be back as well. Let's go to my other friend. Everyone here is named Joe in the chat. We have quite a confluence of Joes going on here. Do you believe more in Parker Washington or Michael Wilson? Continuing their productivity from last year. That is a great question. We talked yesterday on the show. If you missed it, go back and watch. Mike Dempsey was on from Jaguars Today. And Jaguars Today was able to let me know about his thoughts on Parker Washington, how good he looks in camp, and how that rapport seems very strong once again between him and Trevor Lawrence. However, when you put these two in front of Judge Joey, he's going to make a ruling. And I've seen the drops of Marvin Harrison. Now, I don't want to get too crazy, but in full disclosure here in this courtroom, when you look at what's going on the field with Marvin Harrison, when you take into account the evidence of Michael Wilson from last year, that flourish at the end, maybe, just maybe, all the fantasy nerds are wrong. And all of the fading is wrong when it comes to potentially Michael Wilson this year. In that draft I did, go watch tomorrow. It's going to premiere tomorrow. That draft, Michael Wilson fell to me as my 4th wide receiver. If I can get him as my 4th wide receiver, I want him. So therefore, I rule in the favor of Michael Wilson over Parker Washington. I've seen a 1,000-yard receiving season out of Michael Wilson. I've seen a great flourish to the end of his year. And they're going to be playing from behind a ton, which means they're going to have to throw the football a ton. That schedule is brutal. The Cardinals could be the first pick next year. Yes, like the stream. That's the least you can do. Literally the least you can do. That's all I want. I see Father Man is listening, driving the truck. Keep it going, Joey. Again, your name doesn't have to be Joe to be here in the chat. You can still be here in the chat. It just seems like most people are named Joe. I don't know what's going on. And yeah, that's right. I'm back, baby. I love it. It is a beautiful day to be back here talking fantasy with all of you. I'm very excited about it. And here's another one from Parkinson here, from Mike. He's got a question. What's your ruling on Genty of the Raiders? Good question here. Good question. Let's go to the ADP, shall we? Shall we look at some evidence of what's going on here? Let's take a look over on RotoWire, because we've got some rankings here at the running back position. I'm glad you asked this question. So right now, Ashton Genty is currently, you'll see, the 6th running back off the board. I would rule in favor of James Cook over Ashton Genty. I would rule in favor of Ashton Genty over Devon Achane the way it is. Saquon Barkley or Ashton Genty. I'll take the younger running back in Ashton Genty. Kenneth Walker, injury-prone, plagued, whatever you want to call it. I'll take Ashton Genty over Kenneth Walker. Here's the trick. When we get down to 10, Omarion Hampton's the guy that I like this year. I like him a lot. I like the offense so much better than I like the Raiders. And I got to be honest, I got a little depressed yesterday because my good pal Derek Brown kept sending me messages from training camp all day about Kirk Cousins being the starter. All day. Nothing. I get it. I get it, D-bro. I understand. Kirk Cousins is going to be the starter to start the year. Much to my chagrin, it was not what I anticipated. It's not what I wanted. It's not what I wanted at all. But instead, I got stuck here with Kirk Cousins. On the flip side, you've got the Chargers with Justin Herbert, with hopefully this year a healthy offensive line. Also, you've got a very, very bright young mind in Mike McDaniel, who doesn't have to head coach the team anymore. He doesn't have to worry about all the other press conferences. Head coaching's a lot. There's a lot going on. When you're just an offensive coordinator, and offense is what you do best, and you can focus on that. How many times have we seen the great offensive coordinators get head coaching jobs only to fail as head coaches and then go back to being OCs? Why? Because they're good at it. Because it's an easier job. Because they're able to make it work and just focus on what they do best. Not everybody's meant to be a head coach. Some people are just coordinators, and that's okay. Defensive too. Spagnuolo is a great example, right? He got a head coaching job, didn't work out. Goes back to being a coordinator, he's a genius. So, to me, I look at that situation, I want Omarion Hampton over Gentry. And that's unpopular. But there's one thing Judge Joey's not afraid of. It's being unpopular. So therefore, you see my last ruling, Omarion Hampton over Ashton Gentry. Not a hot take. It's based in reality. And by the way, don't think that I don't realize my wig keeps white balancing the hell out of these lights and these cameras, which is pretty amazing. It's hard to keep a wig this white. You don't know. You just don't know. Frank in the chat is here. So good to see Frank. I got to meet Frank last. Well, I didn't. Joe Pizzapia did. That handsome devil. Judge Joey, different people. I see Messer here. I see all my people here. Here's a question from Frankie. Who's the wide receiver on the Ravens this year? I don't know. Nobody knows. And to be honest with you, when you look at the Ravens depth chart, we can pull that up too, or I can just pull it up for you right now and take a look at it. It is really tricky. When I'm approaching the Ravens this year, I'm keeping it simple, just like I always have. It's Lamar Jackson. It's Derrick Henry. It's Zay Flowers. I don't want Mark Andrews. I don't want him. I don't want Rashad Bateman. I've seen enough. He's never healthy. He's got a couple moments here and there, but it's not consistent enough. I don't want him. I know it's a new regime. Maybe they start to use guys more. Maybe they're opening up. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they're going to be pretty much the Ravens of old because that's the personnel they have. Devontae Walker, no thank you. Now, I will say in best ball leagues, Elijah Surratt is kind of interesting to me. I like Elijah Surratt. I think he's an interesting player. I think he's a player that has some upside as a lottery ticket. Again, this is the deepest of leagues because I do like the talent. I liked him in college, but I don't think it's really investable. So that's my thoughts on the Ravens. Again, continue to drop your questions here. That's what I want from all of you. Pistol's here. Pistol never misses a show. I don't know what Pistol does for a living, but whatever it is, he's able to watch YouTube all day, and I love it because it helps those hours go up. We like that. We rule in favor of Pistol, our good friend here. Let's go to Frodo. My apologies to the court. I'll rephrase in legalese. Would your honor lay down sentencing for Colston Lovell in ECR plus 3 rounds, Achan at round 3, and Tedero McMillan round 4? Let's see. Between these three, I don't know why the plus is there. That's what I don't understand. If we're talking about third round Colston Lovell, that's not much of a value. Achan at 8 is the real value here. I would stick with Achan. As scared if I am as Achan, I think you got to stick with Achan. That's my take there. And you're welcome, Mike, for answering your question. This is what we do here on the channel. We're going to do a lot of Q&As. We're going to do Sunday Q&As. We're going to be here answering your questions. I see Heather, who has done nothing but support this channel from day one. I see you, Heather. I appreciate you. Judge Joey would like to find a settlement and arbitration that's in your favor as well. All right. Here we go. She's listening while working, delivering mail. Oh, excellent. Love the postal. The postal folks out there work so hard, day and night. Sun, shine, rain, winter. What is it? By snow, I don't know what it is. If I was smarter, I would have been in school longer. But this is great that you're joining us here, and I'm glad that I can make all of your days a little bit brighter with my inability to stay quiet and my ability to make an absolute fool of myself here on the channel where I make the decisions on Fandom NFL. Subscribe to the channel. Also, by the way, if you want to support Fandom NFL, I've got a great new way for you to do it. Support independent creators who have deals with affiliates in other places. So you don't need all kinds of different channels. You don't need all kinds of different apps and things like that. Go with the group that is getting your boy across the finish line. And that right now is RotoWire. RotoWire is offering all of my people a deal. When you drop the other tools in other places, and you come over to RotoWire and use that promo code JoeyP, you get 20% off And guess who gets a piece of that pie in arbitration? Judge Joey does. So go support me, support independent creators, support RotoWire. The mock that I just did was on RotoWire. When you sign up, don't forget, use that promo code JoeyP. It's very important. It's easy to remember. You get 20% off all of the draft tools and then the in-season tools too. It is a spectacular site. They got great stuff going on there. If you want to see it first, tune into tomorrow's show, subscribe to the channel, and you'll see it all working out for you, what it looks like before you go all the way in. But I'm telling you, download the app and take a look. Take a look. Some fantastic tools there. I love it. And I love how easy they are to use. And I love how current and fresh the look is too. Much more updated. It looks fantastic. All right, let's go to camera, bro. Thoughts on late round flyer on Jaden Blue. Thanks, Judge Joe. It's Judge Joey, like Judge Judy, but I'll accept your proposal. Cam, I'm going to tell you this. I'm not in on Jaden Blue at all. I just didn't like him as a prospect. Was not super excited about Jaden Blue. This courtroom is officially dismissing Jaden Blue from all rankings. I'm just not interested in him. I don't want him. I don't want him. Circuit Court doesn't want him either. All right, here's another one here from who we got here. We got Denise. I hope this is a safe space, no hate, but why so much dislike for the kickers in fantasy? Look, it's not that. Denise, it's Jake Steely's the one that hates the kickers more than anybody, and I'm going to see him on Saturday at the Flex Draft. It's going to be a good time. He runs a great league. Get back on the championship wagon. You can't see it, but above me, there's not one, not two, but 3 belts. I want a 4th in that expert league. That's what I want. But I don't hate kickers. They're just very arbitrary. And to me, you know, the give and take of that, it's fine. You play with kickers, it's fine. I play in a couple leagues with kickers still. I just don't like it. That's the beauty of fantasy, is that it gets to be whatever you want. You make it your own. And it's always a safe space here, Denise. I just want you to know. Always, always a safe space. By the way, if you're watching, like this video, subscribe to the channel. Remember, I'm giving away a Fantasy Football Black Book 2026. Digital cheat sheets are available. If you don't want to wait for the giveaway, just get your own on Amazon. That's another great way to support Fandom NFL and support me, Judge Joey, in this new venture. Go buy a Black Book. Just updated it too, so it's not stale. It's not outdated. It's not all the information from May. AJ Brown is on the Patriots. He's not a free agent anymore. So go check it out today on Amazon. Get yourself a copy and make my day. That's what you're going to do. All right, let's get to some more of your questions. Drop them here in the chat. 6-year Trevor Lawrence, believer or jail? Ooh, good question. It's not jail. So spoiler alert, I'm just going to take everything. It's not jail. I do, however, believe his MVP buzz is getting a little out of control. I know Andrew Erickson talked about that with me on previous shows in a previous life. Mike Dempsey discussed it yesterday. Heck, I was on the treadmill yesterday watching on ESPN them talking about Trevor Lawrence's MVP. He was a very strong finish to the end of the year. Liam Cohen certainly took the reins. They've got a lot of depth, which is also important. I am concerned about what it looks like when Travis Etienne is not on that team anymore, and it does fall to Tootin and Rodriguez, and what it looks like. I think he's way closer to being an MVP and a believer than going in jail. So I believe in him, and I'll tell you this. This much is true, SI. If we go look at the tail of the tape here, at the rankings, and that's the only way to do it, is to make a good, informed decision here. To make my judgment, he's currently basically free, the 11th quarterback off the board in ADP over on RotoWire.com. Go check it out at RotoWire.com. So, Trevor Lawrence, the 11th QB, basically free. I like that value in single quarterback leagues. I'm not going to lie. I'm all a QB this year. If you get Lawrence and then back it up later with a Goff or even a Baker Mayfield in the final couple rounds, I'm good with that. He's healthier than Mahomes is right now. He's younger than Matthew Stafford will ever be again. I like him after Dak. I like him ahead of the other guys. I think he's appropriately priced. So there you go. That's my take on that. Also, some other takes that I want to share with you because I posted in our community because, again, I like to do things here with the YouTube community. I want to grow this channel because I love fantasy football. I love football. I love betting on football. I love all that stuff. And you do too. That's why you're watching. There will be betting content. I promise you, we're working out sponsorship deals for that too. We're moving and shaking. We're doing all kinds of things. My gavel, I got to buy some glue because it keeps coming apart. This is what happens when you judge so hard. When you judge as hard as I do, sometimes you break a gavel or two. The gavel budget right now is low. So we got to build up a new gavel budget this year. In the meantime, we got to glue this bad boy back together. But I want to talk about something else too, because I know we looked at rankings. We've looked at that. I want to look at some other things too, because I do believe that there's a community post I want to share with all of you, and I want to get your feelings, and I want to get your thoughts on this as well. So I put out a little question for the community about tight ends, the mid-tier tight ends, because there's so many interesting ones this year, and I wanted to see what your favorite was. I knew what my favorite was, but I wanted to see what yours was. So let's take a look at it, shall we? Let's take a look at what the people said. I put out who was your favorite mid-tier tight end: Tucker Kraft, Harold Fannin Jr., Sam Laporta, and Kyle Pitts. As you can see, an overwhelming amount of you agree with me that Tucker Kraft is the guy. 115 votes, not too shabby. Like that. Like to see the engagement here and the youth of this channel. And I think we forget just what kind of breakout season Tucker Kraft was having. I think we forget that he was in the top 5 in tight end fantasy points per game before he got hurt last year. I think we forget that they didn't do a whole lot this offseason because they didn't have a lot of draft picks in Green Bay. They didn't have a lot of opportunity in Green Bay. So what do? You have to go back to Tucker Kraft. Now, I get it. He's coming off an injury. Scary stuff. We hate that. But it was a long time ago, and the recovery period has been a while, and everything seems to be tracking to week 1, and we seem pretty good. Tucker Kraft is an enormous value. Tucker Kraft might have more fantasy points. Close your ears, Brock Bowers believers. He might have more fantasy points this year when all is said and done than Brock Bowers. He's playing with a better quarterback. He's integral to the offense. Christian Watson's the best wide receiver they have. He can be inconsistent sometimes. He's had a ton of injury problems. Jaden Reed's the only other guy around there. Yeah, Matthew Golden's there, but didn't see a whole lot. I'm not surprised Laporta is too. And Fannin and Pitts kind of drag in the rear. Now, it's interesting because Fannin's going ahead of Laporta, which tells you there's a value. I was trying to get one of these tight ends in my draft that I just recorded today that's coming out tomorrow on the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Watch the mock draft show. PPR 12 team from the one spot. See how that goes. But I will say this. I did end up with one of these tight ends. That's what they call in the business a tease, folks. They call it a tease. I'm nothing if not a tease. All right. So, Frodo, you're welcome. I'm glad I was able to answer that question for you. Here's one from Panda. Hey, Joe. What could I add with a 2027 rookie pick late to get Drake London? Ooh, that's interesting. To get a Drake London with a late 2027, let's see, was that a first you want to put there? Oh, just, yeah. 2027 late rookie pick. I don't know. It's got to be somebody pretty darn good. If you're going to go into that range with just like a 4th round pick in a rookie draft to get Drake London, it's got to be a Devonta Smith, I think. Maybe you can get away with a Luther Burden. Like if you're not a Luther Burden believer and you want to go to Drake London in that pivot, I understand that. It's not a terrible idea. It's not the worst. Maybe get out of the Luther Burden business where it's at its peak because maybe it is just Colston Loveland and a bunch of other guys kind of working. That's interesting. I think you might be able to get that done. Another name that I want to throw out there too, Brian Thomas does not get it done. I can tell you that. Tedero McMillan might get it done if you don't love Bryce Young, but I think Bryce Young showed you he's good enough. Ted McMillan, as the season went on, started to score more touchdowns. It's really tricky, though. It's got to be somebody who is in that 1A tier, very high-end, 2 upside, buzzy guy. That's why I said Luther Burden came to mind very quickly. I wouldn't do it for Egbuka. Jalen Waddle in a late pick. That might get it done. Maybe you could float it, especially if people are worried about the health of Tua Tagovailoa. We all know the health of Michael Penix is no good. You missed Judge Joey. Well, guess what? Judge Joey missed you too. All right. So great to have everybody here. Joe prefers kickers over defense. I prefer defense over kickers. So there you go. A little bit for everybody. Mike says, Judge Joe debut on the channel is better gimmick than the Shockmaster debut. And that's saying something. Because when that big boy tripped over himself, fell into everything, the helmet came off, puts the helmet back on. It's also a glittery helmet. If you don't know what we're talking about, it's a wrestling reference. Shockmaster, go Google it. Google Shockmaster entrance. Thank Judge Joey later. That's all you got to do. Can Joe Burrow be MVP this year? He absolutely can. Right now, he's the 3rd guy on the board. If you want to talk about betting too, we can talk about that. It's Q&A. That's what it is here today with Judge Joey. Joe Burrow this year as MVP is very, very possible. What's got to happen? He's got to play every game, period. Jamar Chase also has to play every game. Those two things together for an entire season have to happen for him to have a legitimate chance. We don't get a whole lot of that very often. That's the problem. Jamie, if I had to sentence one player to a year in prison, would it be Javonte Williams or Kyron Williams? I like all the Williamses. I don't want to sentence any of these guys. In fact, Javonte Williams last year, everybody should have listened to some of the smarter heads out there who kept saying, there's not a lot of competition. Jaden Blue's not very good. Why not just take Javonte Williams? It's feeling a little bit like Rachaad White 2026 could be Javonte Williams, like a guy that you know he's there. You know what he is. In the right offense with the right amount of volume, he's useful. I think Javonte Williams is a better player than Rachaad White is. But circumstantial evidence will show you that he could be this year's Javonte Williams. It's very possible. So no Williams go to jail. Everybody is on probation at best. Kyron Williams, by the way, I was in the Kings Classic this weekend. Kyron Williams went in the late first round of a 14-team league. I was shocked. I was appalled. I tried to go to an appeals court to see if we can get it reprimanded for that poor owner who made that conversation and made that pick. But everybody's got their guys. And like I said, if you got your guys and you think you got the right ones, at the end of the day, ADP is just polling. That's what it is. It's a group think. So when I say I like Amari and Hampton's situation better than Ashton Genty, that's okay that he's going as the RB10 as opposed to the RB6 or 7. Stop it. Stop it. Don't you dare. I know you thought it just now, especially if you have children. Don't stop it. Not on my show, not on my watch. All right. Who won the jersey? Donald, I'll tell you, Follow won the jersey. So Follow, if you're watching here today or watching back, I messaged you. I announced you on the show. You won the jersey. I'm going to show it out here just in case he's here. Where is it? I got it somewhere. It's around here someplace. There it is. Boom. Zay Flowers' jersey went to Follow for this lovely comment. So many lovely comments on the channel. Follow, hit me up. fantasyblackbook@gmail.com. Send me your address so I can send you the jersey. It's waiting here. You got 6 days now to claim it. Otherwise, it's going to go back in rotation to somebody else. Follow, I want to give it to you because you seem like good people. You support the channel. You support Judge Joey. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. All right, let's go to some more questions here. Judge Joey, who is the bigger offender? Someone that picks a kicker before the 10th round or a defense before the 10th? Oh, kicker. 100% a kicker. And I'll tell you why. Here's a little secret. If you are the smartest person in your fantasy league, right? There's guys late that you know you can pick up, that you know are going to produce, that all the other casuals, your brother-in-law, your sister-in-law, your colleague at work, they're just showing up to the draft and they're drafting it whatever the host site tells them. But if you're smarter than that, and I think you are because you're watching this channel on Fandom, if you're a Fandom NFL fan, you can take a defense in the second or even third to last round, especially a defense like, say, the Denver Broncos, right? 178 sacks in the last 3 years. That's 30 more than the next team, the Ravens. They get pressure. They create turnovers. They're going to have good margins of victory. Also, understand the scoring in your leagues. Some defenses have some big-time scoring, and a great defense can be the difference. Now, I understand every year what happens is you get a defense that comes up out of nowhere and surprises you, and that's great too. That's in those more competitive leagues. Pay attention to those, and I'll talk about those here on the channel. Of course we will. But it's very, very important that you recognize if you're the smartest person in your room, you can go early on a defense. Early on a kicker, I still don't like it. Maybe Aubrey, okay. If that really wants to make you happy. Donald, you're right. Fandom NFL does rock. I agree. That judgment is in your favor. All right, let's get to some more of these. Alan's got a question. Finally, someone not named Joe on the channel. My Dynasty tight ends are Kraft, Henry, Dulcich, and Mayer. Well, I don't know why you're hanging on to Mike Mayer. I don't know. Michael Mayer is not a guy to hang on to. Dulcich, I understand. In fact, I'll tell you this much. If Dulcich gets off to a hot start, I would flip him in a hot minute. I would send him somewhere else, away with Greg Dulcich, because it's not going to last. Things are going to fall apart in Miami. If he gets off to a good September and he gets a couple targets and you get a 4th-round pick for him in Dynasty next year, especially next year's draft is going to be littered with talent. The more draft picks you have, the more you can move up in Dynasty. Judge Joey approves that message. That's what you're going to do. So think about that very carefully. Kraft is spectacular. Henry's on his way out. I would flip Dulcich Take another young tight end next year that you think might pan out, but you need somebody else behind Kraft, because Henry's not going to do it much longer. Just understand that. Eli Raritan might be a guy who could even eat in later as it goes. Here we go. The answer is obviously both, which is worse. All right. And JC, appreciate you. I see all of you. I see all your comments. I see all the things you're saying. I see all the follows I'm getting. I see how fast this channel's taking off. And it's because of you. This isn't the people's court. It's the people's channel. And you're making this possible every single time you click on a video, every single time you watch a video, you have it running in the background. I can't say enough good things about you people, so I'm just not going to say anything at all. You know. All right, let's get here. Oh, the greatest debut of all time. Well, you're right. I approve that message. You're correct. All right, let's see if we can get some more here. We've got, let's go all the way to the bottom here. What if John Mayer instead of Michael Mayer? He seems a little problematic from what I've seen recently. Pretty good guitar player, though. I will give him that. Pretty good guitar player. Greatest guitar player of all time. Prince, number 1. I'm going to go Jimi Hendrix, number 2. Eddie Van Halen, number 3. Fight me on that in the chat if you want. Go ahead. I'm listening. Fight me if you want in the chat on that one. That's how I'm going there. Prince can play everything those guys play. Everybody else can't play what Prince plays. That's my thinking. All right, so continue to drop all your questions here. Messer's got a question here. If Aaron Donald joins the Rams, I would take their defense in the 8th or 9th. Yeah, that's a great example too. Also, I want to turn you on to a little wager that's going on right now. Speaking of Aaron Donald, come closer to the camera. So right now, in the 1 spot, Myles Garrett is the favorite for Defensive Player of the Year. Typically, Defensive Player of the Year is the sack leader. It's just, statistically speaking, that's what it is. If you're looking for a good investment, this is a good one now. Because when Aaron Donald signs, it's going to change it a little bit. It's probably going to go to 350 or even 3. Aaron Donald might even be in there in the mix. Now's the time this week to jump on Myles Garrett for that award. It's 4-1. That's a massive return for a guy at the very top of the board. A guy who's won it before. A guy who's got a new lease on life on a great team, and he's going to have so much attention. He's in a giant media market. If he got attention in Cleveland, imagine how much attention he is going to get when he ends up now in Los Angeles, playing in the home of the NFL. Oh, the new home of the NFL, Los Angeles. It's going to get a ton of publicity. Remember, all these awards, they're media voted. He is going to get so much press every time he does something great. There's one thing Myles Garrett's good at. It's doing something great. I know this to be true. All right, here's another one from Messer. Bengals versus Cowboys in Super Bowl. Bengals winning plus 4-5-0-0-0. You can make that bet if you want, Messer. I would put $1 on it. That's for the Cowboys and the Bengals both to get to the Super Bowl. Dogs and cats living together. Locusts. Plagues. Mass hysteria. All these things happening. David's here. I love any jersey as long as it's not as long as it's not New Jersey. That's harsh. I live in New Jersey. New Jersey gets a bad rap. All right? If you're going to come into my courtroom and talk crappy about New Jersey, now I get it. Pine Barrens, very down south Jersey. Some banjos on porches. I get that. North Jersey, very north, very pretty. But there's that section outside of New York that's nothing but refineries and weird stuff and dead bodies. And it's industrial waste. It's terrible. But the shore is beautiful. The mountains, the Garden State. Where I am, it's gorgeous. There's farms and things and green and parks. There's lots of trees. You got ocean, you got mountains, you got parks. What more do you need? You're close to Philly, you're close to New York, you're close everywhere. New Jersey gets a bad rap. Stop watching that Jersey Shore stuff. Most of those trash are from Staten Island anyway. Now that's a problematic place, Staten Island. TCB. I play an auction draft where some names I would be sent to jail even if submitting the bid on. You know, for a second here, for those of you who are playing in auction leagues, because I just did an auction at the King's Classic, and Judge Joey's going to tell you something and drop some knowledge on you right now. Judge Joey's going to tell you this, all right? From the bench to you. If you want to be successful in that format, the first thing you do, early and often, throw out the problematic high-priced players that you don't want. Every time you drain one of those guys out of a room, if you don't want Christian McCaffrey and you drain him for $50-something, that's one less person to fight with later on for a big player. If you don't like Devon Achane, throw him out. Any player that you're not in on, if you think Drake London is overrated this year, whatever it is, Those are the guys to nominate early and often. Someone might nominate a guy you like. Okay, fine. Then you start getting in the bidding. But I think one of the biggest mistakes people make early on is to not identify the players they don't want. I think Saquon Barkley was the first guy. I don't like the value this year. I don't like it. I feel I can go elsewhere. And as an idea, right, I waited, and eventually Amari and Hampton fell to me for 30-something. And it was a 14-team league, so it was a little bit, the deeper the league, the more compressed, the more expanded, I should say, some of the prices get. So keep that in mind. And the other thing you got to do is build that dummy roster in your little spreadsheet with all the prices that you think you're going to spend and then adjust it throughout the draft. That way you know I'm going to have this much of a budget in this range for running back one, this much for wide receiver one, this much. And then you got to adjust because you're always going to have to go over and make some adjustments. Get your guys. Worry about the waivers later. Jamie's back again. We need Judge Joe's ruling. Which was the worst gimmick? Minotaur or Shockmaster? Shockmaster lives on, so Minotaur is a worse gimmick. Could be the Gobbledygooker, too. Who I believe, if memory serves, was Eddie Guerrero's father. Now, why I know that, I don't know. But that's why Michael and everybody else loves me. Because I know stupid things. Keep dropping your questions in. I see my boy Dev is in the chat. In a 14-team PPR redraft, I'm drafting 14th. All right, let's go. This is big boy stuff here. You got your big boy pants on, your big boy draft. Let's go. At 10th round, is Dulcich a pickup? And which words? I don't want to wait that long in a 14-teamer. I don't want to wait that long in a PPR for a tight end in a bad offense. He's got a bad offensive line. He's got a bad offense. He's got a quarterback. What? Did I miss something? Did someone not tell me or inform me about all of a sudden that Malik Willis is all of a sudden very, very viable? Yeah, I get it. There's some flashes. It's fun. He runs around a little bit. But his ability to make everybody else good around him is completely unknown. I can't get behind that. I can't do it. So no, don't wait for Dulcich in a 14-team league. Get a value on Tucker Kraft or Sam Laporta or even a guy like Fannin too is fine. Hit the middle of tight end, unless Colston Loveland falls a little bit further than he should, in which case, my love of Colston Loveland. It knows very little bounds. All right, let's get to another one of these as well, because I feel like we can go look at some of the tight ends again and take a look at what's going on with those rankings, and we can get some more opinion-based decision-making here from Judge Joey. So let's go to RotoWire.com. Let's take a look at the tight end position here. We'll scroll over to tight end. These are the ADPs, the consensus ranks over there of what's going on in the draft. You see McBride still 1, Bauer still 2, Loveland at 3. Okay. You see right now, Loveland on Fantrax is going 44th, on ESPN 45th. Now, here's the thing you're going to understand. See, on Sleeper, it's 39. Now, if you got your glasses on like I do and you can see this, this is very informative. Sleeper is going to have a lot more diehard fantasy football fans on it. So what happens? The ADP goes up by 6 spots overall. More casual on ESPN. It's going to fall a little later, maybe even half a round, maybe even a full round. Okay? That's something to understand about this tight end position and understand where you're playing. Where you're playing matters. Also, what tools you're using matters as well. So I encourage everybody out there, again, if you missed it, you're just joining us here on the program right now, download the RotoWire app, use the promo code JoeyP, you get 20% off. I get part of that investment when you make it, and this channel keeps going. So if you like this kind of stupid, and I know you do, please go sign up for RotoWire today. Make it an effort today. You have a choice of where your money gets spent. Choose it wisely. Choose the best tools on the planet for all your fantasy football drafts, all your fantasy football in-season management. You want the RotoWire. Promo code JoeyP, 20%. Use it. It's not Judge Joey. It's just Joey P. That's how you do it. All right, let's get to some more questions here. Again, I'm here for you for another 15 minutes or before my head turns bright red and I break out in a rash. One of those two things are going to happen, and now I understand why this wig came with a little cap he's supposed to wear underneath it, because my bald head is on fire right now. We are 40 minutes into this stream, and my bald head is on fire, and I'm regretting this decision immensely, but I'm going to soldier through because I'm a warrior. Like Justin Herbert in the playoffs last year, I am a warrior. Judge Joey will continue to make decisions regardless on your fantasy future and your betting too. Drop your questions for that. All right, let's go to Slim. I have the 101 and the 12-team PPR, Thoughts on who I take? Gibbs. Slim? Yes. Slim, I don't always go with the consensus. A couple years ago, I did not like Christian McCaffrey as the one default overall. And if you listen to me, you dodged that bullet. Tomorrow's show, I want you to watch it carefully. I did a mock from the one spot with Jahmyr Gibbs. I laid out the plan of what you should do. Take the big running back, get your hero, let it come back around, get your 2 big wide receivers because there's still plenty on the board. Then when it comes back around, see if you can get one more RB2 of note who can be a 1 or a low-end 1 at times. Get another wide receiver. Those first 5 picks, that's how you build a team. And if the running backs don't make it back to you, that's when you pivot to the Colts and Lovelands of the world if they're there, or the higher-end tight ends. That's the way you do it. If you want to watch how I did it, I laid out the whole path. Anybody drafting 1 this year, watch the video tomorrow. In fact, just watch the video, period. I need all the watches I can get. All right, let's go to Mustard said Buckethead can hang with those guys. Buckethead is decent, okay? Buckethead is Timu Slash. Let's not get crazy, okay? As far as guitar players goes. And I'm not discounting the greatness of other guitar players like Tom Morello or Keith Richards or any of those guys, okay? It's a lot of great guitar players. But top 3 is the top 3. That's Judge Joey's top 3. If you disagree, go ahead, drop me another name. I'll consider it. It's Prince, it's Jimmy, Eddie Van Halen. There you go. That's what I want to see. All right, here we go. David, order in the fandom court. Joey is out of order. I'm out of order. You're out of order. This whole courtroom is out of order. Let me tell you something. Billy Gibbons, partial fan. Billy Gibbons. Of course, Father Man loves Billy Gibbons, ZZ Top guy. Of course, Father Man loves it. I love it. We're talking football. We're talking guitar players. It doesn't get better than this. This is how I want to spend every Thursday afternoon with you, talking this nonsense. It's great. Good list for all time. If we are doing a new age list, give me Gary Clark Jr. over most. Gary Clark Jr. very good. Very good. You know, some different guitar players too, different feels of different bands, right? You know, that all depends. You know, Gary Clark Jr. I actually saw Gary Clark Jr. live play. Terrific. All right, let's get to some more of these here. Rank these guys. All right. I got my gavel ready. I'm going to rank these guys. Zay Flowers, Devonta Smith, Egbuka, Ladd, and Burden. Now, if we're talking just safety here, I still like Zay Flowers the most. Safe. He doesn't quite have the upside in PPR that Ladd has. He doesn't quite have the touchdown equity that Emeka Egbuka has. I know everybody loves Devonta Smith this year, and it's not that I hate Devonta Smith. I want to see what he operates with just being himself. And I know sometimes it's been good, but I only drafted Mekhi Lemon too. I would go Zay, Smitty, Ladd, Egbuka, Burden. That's it. That's my ruling. I don't want to overthink it. I hope you got that. If not, you gotta rewind. Awesome Dev. Why does Joey look like Nona with his wig? Well, you know, if your Nona had a beard this thick, chances are you were Italian like me. All right, let's get to another one here. How about Neil Sean of Journey? All right, well, we got Journey stuff. You can tell the demographic that I'm playing to when we make Journey references. Yeah, good guitar player, no doubt. All right, here's Jupat. Jupat. Is you French? Are you a Frenchman or Jupat? I do not know what you are, but I will answer your question anyway. Elite QB or elite tight end this year? Looking for the bigger difference maker. The biggest difference maker for me is got to be elite tight end. It has to be. Because I do think after Kraft, there's a drop-off even to Laporta. To me, you could even make an argument for Kraft over Warren. I think those guys at the top, especially in those full PPR leagues, they're going to perform like low-end wide receiver ones, whether it be Bowers, McBride, Kraft, Loveland, obviously, is my favorite of that group in terms of return on investment. There's Josh Allen, and then I think the rest of that group is a lot closer than you realize. I mean, at the end of the day, if Jane Daniels bounces back and he goes 3 rounds later, or even 4 rounds later, potentially, than Drake May, it's a value. So I just think QB1 is so tight this year that there's Josh Allen. You got to pay the fiddler for Josh Allen. After that, it drops off significantly. Donald's best bet is from Jersey. Well, that's nice. And look at this. Look at this beautiful bald man. The judge still has a bald spot. That guy would know a little thing or two about bald spots. I can tell you that much. Let me tell you. I got stories about this guy for days, and about, 3 hours from now, this man's going to be at my house. And who knows? If you subscribe to the channel, maybe there'll even be a secret show. Who knows? Could be in person. Could be a late night live. Anything could happen on Fandom NFL. Subscribe to the channel. Drop your comments below. We got about 10 minutes left here. Mustard says, don't get me started on Staten Island. Mustard, you can rant all day about Staten Island. I hate Staten Island. My uncles lived there my whole life, and I always have to go there for events, and I love my aunt and uncle so much. I love my cousins. I hate Staten Island. It's 25 minutes away in theory from where I live, and it's at least an hour and 20 minutes every time to get there. It's the worst. It's the only borough with a cover charge. All right, here we go. Let's get to some more here. That's right, Debro. Greetings from Yosemite. Everybody loves a good Derek Brown reference now and again. Yeah, there we go. Let's get to Blue Block is here for a question. It's a long one too. Let's go. My Dynasty running backs are Achane, Henderson, Scadaboo, and Charbonnet. All right, not bad. Wright and Bigsby. Whatever. Tried to add before the season, or is it enough to start? 10-team full PPR. In a 10-team league, I think this is enough RB to get you by. Here's the thing, though. Charbonnet, you got 3. You got a great 1 in Achane, or I'll rephrase. You got a pretty good 1 in Achane on a bad team. You got Henderson with upside. Scadaboo I love as a 2, so Henderson's that third guy for you. In a 10-team league, I like a little bit more. Charbonnet's not going to be useful till after Thanksgiving. So, yeah, I want a little bit more. This is a team, it's super flex with 4 flex spots. RB is my weakest position. Yeah, look, in a 10-team league, you should have more flex spots because you want to challenge yourself and all your friends and enemies. But I will say this. I do believe that you could use a little bit extra. This is a team where I'd love to get a Rashad White. I'd love to get a Jonathan Brooks on that roster. I'd love to get somebody like that. Somebody's just like kind of flying under the radar. See if you can pull that off. That's my advice for you. All right, Judge Joey has ruled. All right, let's go to another one here. All I hear is how amazing Jersey is. Well, you'll find out when you get here. Maybe I'll throw you in the ocean. We'll go take a little trip, you and me, huh? Pal? Yeah, maybe. All right, here's one from Messer. All I need, all the talking heads to do me a favor and keep quiet about Egbuka. Well, they're not. Look, nobody was louder about Egbuka than I was. Because Egbuka last year was my pick for Rookie of the Year, and I looked pretty smart for about a month and change. Then I looked pretty dumb for the rest of the season. It was unfortunate. The wheels fell off for the Buccaneers. The Baker Mayfield injury just killed everything. And Judge Joey went and cried in his chambers for quite a long time. I didn't like it. I'm going to try to let that go. Let the past be the past. But I'll tell you this much. If Emeka Egbuka is a repeat offender, he might end up in fantasy jail. You watch your ass, Egbuka. You watch it. But I'm cautiously optimistic about Egbuka. And yeah, that's right. Everything's kind of going a little... it's not going crazy yet. Not going crazy. Let's go to Sir Marigold here. I have Tootin and Judkins for the same price. I am losing my mind. Join the club. I lost mine a long time ago, Marigold. I have Tootin and Judkins for the same price. I will tell you this. If I'm only keeping one of those guys, I'm keeping Judkins. Judkins is a true 3-down back. Judkins' competition is just Samson. The Rodriguez competition, and Mike Dempsey did a great job on yesterday's program. Again, if you've got questions about this, I beg you, go listen to somebody with boots on the ground who is literally at training camp every day, who is meeting with these guys, meeting with these coaches, talking with these guys, who knows what's going on, who's watching the practices. Because what Mike Dempsey told us yesterday on the program is that they love Tootin. They also told us that they like Rodriguez and they have a role for him. And that's why I would lean towards Judkins there. That's my thought. That's what I'm doing. Mike says Jersey is basically made up of people that want to be from New York and people that want to be from Philly. Not altogether untrue. I am from New York and I lived in Philly. So I kind of bucked that trend, but at the same time I represent it. So I no lies detected. New Jersey is to be endured. Yes. Yes, it is. All right. Yes, I was correct. The gobbledygooker was indeed that. There you go. Say, there you go. The hand that gave birth to Mae Young was the worst gimmick. I disagree. That hand still has what it takes to be Intercontinental Champion, and I believe that. I'll go to my grave with that. I don't need a haircut. I'm going to need some lotion or something on my head. It's going to be bright red. And I got an appearance after this on VSiN talking about some gambling stuff. Check that out. A buddy of mine asked me to come on that show. I might have to wear a hat for that show. I have no idea what it's going to look like. Frank in the chat, Heath Cummings is the leader on the Dulcich Army, so next time you're at CBS, yell at Heath. I will. He's not the only one. Erickson likes him too. A lot of my very smart friends like Dulcich. And there's a context, which is Second tight end on a 14-team league. If you didn't get the tight end you wanted, then if you end up with Travis Kelce, who, by the way, I hope he's wearing some sort of protective jacket and that's not what kind of shape he's in. Because I saw a clip yesterday. He looks like he was enjoying the wedding buffet. That's all I'm going to say. And I love a good buffet myself. Judge Joey is not above a good buffet. I will tell you that. But yeah, the Dulcich stuff, this is the stuff that happens, right? And here you go. I'm going to teach you something here, Frankie. Listen up, Frankie. And I want everybody else to listen too. A couple years ago, some of my very, very bright and astute colleagues were hyping the hell out of Kyle Pitts. And I got in argument after argument. I gave them brief after brief about why they were wrong because Marcus Mariota was running the offense. And there's only so good. Let me fix my hair. There's only so good he could be if you are talking about what a quarterback can give you offensively and facilitate. And what happened? Kyle Pitts was a huge bust. And the same thing could happen with Dulcich this year. So tight end is so good. Try to get Loveland. If you can't get Loveland, get Kraft, get Warren, get someone at Laporta, get somebody with some upside. Because I think you're going to be working from behind. It's a renaissance of tight ends. You have Loveland already. There you go. Dev is very smart. Smarter than the average bear. All right, let's go to another one. The judge needs to catch a flight to Turkey. That's 2 strikes, Brown. That's 2 strikes. Just telling you. All right, taking this act on the road? Sure, why not? I might as well. Yeah, I definitely need some baby powder on the way because there's no doubt about that. All right, ironically, I have the 101 this year, and I took CMC. Well, look, this year, if you want to take CMC, look, the best case against him so far is made by my good pal, Jamie Eisenberg, who I will see this weekend as well. But go check out his work on CBS. He makes a really good case against him. Some of the concerns that I've had too, workload, schedule getting better, another year older, all those reasons. I wouldn't take him at the 1. At the 1, I want Jahmyr Gibbs. I want Bijan Robinson. I want young running backs with 1,000 upside. That's what I want. That's what I want. And I won't be told otherwise. Frodo's holding somebody in contempt. I don't know who. You could try to hold me. Good luck. Good luck with that. Yeah, Joey Pacino. That's right. I got all that stuff for you. All right. There's so many things coming in here too. I'm so grateful all of you are here. Derek is here. Not Brown, the good one. Scroggins. He's here. It's not Strong Island. It's Long Island, and Long Island is a disaster. All right. Long Island's even worse than Staten Island. They're all bad. That's why everybody goes there and they just stay on the island and they want you to come out to one of those islands to visit and you lose your whole day just getting there. The whole day. See, people from the Midwest and the South and the West, they don't understand. If you're in the tri-state area, you know what I'm talking about. All right, let's get to some more of your questions before we get the hell out of here. Let's go to one more. Booma. Pick 4, 12-team league, half PPR hypothetical. What start do you like better? Option 1. Wait, let me get my gavel up. You know, it's hard at 53 minutes to still get your gavel up, but Judge Joey can do it. I can stream all day long. Gavel's up. Better option. Puka, Ken Walker, and Scadaboo. Option 2. Jonathan Derek Tucker, Devonta Smith. Woo. I like investing with Puka first. I think Puka's the better first round selection there. Walker and Scadaboo I can live with, but I'll tell you what, in that running back room, you better build some depth. You better get Jalen Warren and a Rico Dowdle and a Rashad White and some of the, you might have to get Aaron Jones. You got to get a bunch of dudes if you're going to go that route because there's no way those 2 guys are playing every game. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. There we go. 400 touches means Messer is out on CMC. Now, he had 417 touches a couple years ago, and that was the big marker for me well into the playoffs that I said, I can't do this. Can't do this the next year. I was right. The bigger demarcation is 400 carries, which was the high horse that Judge Joey was riding all last year with Saquon Barkley. And I told you, anybody with 400 carries, basically in the last 25 years, has not finished as an RB1. The closest they get is like RB14. Usually it's worse. Usually it's an injury or an incomplete. Saquon Barkley was not an RB1 last year. Listen to Judge Joey. He's doing the work for you so you can just come to YouTube and be lazy and watch him and be entertained and get smart at the same time. Why wouldn't you do that? Judge Judy and I are not related, by the way. Just want you to know. Judge Joey's a whole other person. They got a pill for that gavel problem, I heard. I didn't know that. I'm going to look into that. And we're going to end on this note because it doesn't get better than this. Jamie says, this is my new favorite podcast. Never miss an episode. You shouldn't ever miss one. And while you're at it, make sure you go support the channel, drop your comments below, subscribe to the channel. If you're looking for the audio version, well, guess what? I got it for you. Fandom NFL Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. You want free stuff? Drop your comments, subscribe to the channel, like this video right now. I see a bunch of you, so many people here live in the chat. Unbelievable first time out. One of you is going to win a Fantasy Football Black Book 2026 when we get to 2,500 subscribers. Ring the bell till it goes ding so you never miss one of these. And, of course, use the new tools at RotoWire. Promo code JoeyP. You download the app, 20% off using the promo code JoeyP. That's what you get, and it's a great opportunity. And if you want to see the tools in action, watch tomorrow's show. Ring the bell so you don't forget, so you'll get that little notification, and you'll know when the mock draft, full PPR from the one spot with me, drops. Next week, I'm going to do the inverse at the 12, and we'll do it from the middle, too. So you want to be able to do it from all the different angles to make sure you have the most successful fantasy that you possibly can. Now, what I should do is get out of here before I get demonetized. But again, I want to thank everybody for joining Judge Joey live here on the program. You're all the best. And that's going to do it for Judge Joey. I'm going to go get some ointment for my head and call it a day. This courtroom is officially adjourned. Thanks for hanging out with us at Fandom NFL.